don't remember her face being like the last thing, but it is, yeah. Scary face! Okay, we've got New Game Plus. Let's have a look. Welcome to New Game Plus. This playthrough will have different dialogue, events, and decisions to make. Okay. Anatoly, Gregor, and Karen will start with 3 hearts each. Use this opportunity to max out your relationships. We highly recommend you create a manual save file right now for this shorter playthrough. Okay, so it's a shorter playthrough. Okay. Unfortunately, Mariah will not be available to Max. Sorry. Thank you for playing Cooking Companions. We hope you enjoyed the experience. Oh, almost forgot. Okay. Jump scare mode activated. Just kidding. You can feel someone approaching. Wake up! I said, wake up! I can't keep pretending anymore. Oh, Miss Mary, how could I be? I was the last to die. You try to reply, but instead have a coughing fit. Cough harder. I can see your jugular vein pumping. Pick your last words carefully. I'm sorry, Rhina. Yeah? I don't believe you. Prove it by getting rid of Potato. Do that, we're even. Getting rid of Potato might be a fatal decision. Rhina has bluffed before. Well, is Potato leaving the cabin? I'm gonna say yes, but only because you scare the living shit out of me, Raspberry. Fantastic. Follow through this commitment and be social with others. Don't slide back into old habits. Karen, Anatoly, Gregor, I'll keep us alive. I promise. Everyone watches as Mariah leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. After the 3 go back to bed, you finally have the opportunity to use the bathroom. The candle blew out. You grasp blindly along the floor until you find a flashlight in the corner. This bathtub is filthy. It will need more than a little elbow grease to get these stains out. You notice a note underneath the bathtub. May 4th, 1794. This notice shall serve as a summons to the Zakopane courthouse. You are being accused of the following crimes. 1. Public disturbance. 2. Foul language and demeanor. 3. Refusal to testify at previous court cases. 4. Refusal to agree to a search warrant of property. Your hearing is scheduled for October 20th. Failure to attend will result in your immediate arrest and penalties up to hanging. Sincerely, Judge Konstantsky Louis. You take the court summons letter with you. Someone forgot to restock the toilet paper. Beyond disgusting. This is truly the scariest thing you've ever seen. With your interest waning, you decide to leave the bathroom. Time to surprise the others. You take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it in the oven. You cooked meat. Where did you get that? You ignore Karen's question. What's that smell? Gregor finally gets off the couch. Where did you... The three are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting into small cutlets. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. Do you have any more of this? You explain how the meat is stored securely, hidden so that you can ration better this time. I understand. Thank you. Anatoly runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes. This taste is... Gregor wanders off. Anatoly returns, looking choked up. I left you some of the meat. Don't fight this, Anatoly. Anatoly takes a cutlet from the plate, turning his back to the group as he devours it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. Going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay? Karen leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? Speak with Anatoly. You knock on the door first. Anatoly? Thanks for checking in on me. You ask if he still feels sick. Not anymore. I think it was a mental thing. Please don't tell me where the meat came from. The less known, the better. You nod. Thank you. You're sure Anatoly will remember that. You leave Anatoly and go tidy up some parts of the kitchen. Hours pass. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. They're fine for now, but soon they'll be begging for more. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time and there will be no dinner. Fine. I understand. I guess I'd rather eat tomorrow than more today. No arguments? Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly tonight. You have a strange dream. The river seems to be on fire, glowing eerily in the early morning light. A man on horseback is staring at you from the other side, blowing his nose into a handkerchief. A rickety bridge is the only way to reach him, so you decide to start crossing it. The bridge immediately sinks with your weight, causing the rotting wood of the posts to crack. The wind pushes the bridge from side to side, the frayed ropes creaking with each gust. As you reach the center, the man on horseback smiles at you. Raising the hand with a handkerchief, he brings it down the violent motion, causing the bridge to disappear beneath your feet. As you fall into the river of flame, you can see the man on horseback galloping away. You wake in a cold sweat. Wait, no flash this time. It usually flashes. There was no flash. You wake up to see Gregor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling. Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything?
Они вас никогда не простят.
I actually didn't notice this last time, but Mariah was like floaty. The floodwaters have receded a little bit, but everyone is still bound to the cabin. The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now. Good morning, big guy. I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. It's what she would have wanted. I think he's right. Please bring us more of that meat. You grab some of the meat from your secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to the boiling cauldron water. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it up right away. What's taking so long? Boil it faster. It looks almost done. Patience. It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole, like a duck does when eating bread. Anatoly creates ripples in the broth using the spoon. He isn't eating. I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. Raya. Anatoly begins to weep. You look over at Karen. You didn't notice her even start to eat. There's just an empty bowl now. Karen is staring right at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. Ugh! How could you be so careless again? You remember Karen's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again? This storm is not ending. You clear your throat. Anatoly? Yes? I think tomorrow you should look for Mariah. Or forage for plants outside. I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants like you. Please, Anatoly. You can swim back after a few hours. Gregor is right, Anatoly. Maybe you'll find Mariah out there. I think Mariah's fine by herself. He still hasn't accepted what happened yet. She doesn't need anyone's help. But we need your help, Anatoly. That's right, Anatoly. Please help us. Let me sleep on it, okay? No problem, little guy. Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. You go to bed ravenous. Mariah. Something is approaching. Fuck you, Potato. Fuck you. Time to wake up! You ask Potato where the trumpets are. Cabbage, onion, raspberry, and bread. They've moved on. Just us now. The way it always should have been. Your mind finally manages to forget everything that happens. You fall asleep again, still ravenous. You have a strange dream. You're walking down the steps when you trip and fall. You snap every bone on the way down, landing in the basement as a writhing pile of flesh and bones. The whispers surround you, their laughter ringing in your ears. You wake in a cold sweat. Something smells terrible in the living room. Anatoly puked in one of the corners. You leave it there so the others will question his fortitude. Good morning.
Good morning, little guy.
Well, Anatoly, what's your decision?
I barely slept last night. Her whispers came through one of the holes in the floor. She kept telling me to come outside. We don't want to rush you, but one of us puked last night.
So that's what that smell was. Anatoly is playing dumb for the group. Anatoly, my patience is wearing thin. You have 1 hour to make a decision. Why so quickly? Because I'm not waiting any longer. You can see the glint of Karen's knife under her dress. Best to watch out for that knife. The group disperses. Tensions seem to be rising. You have 1 hour to kill. What do you want to do? Let's talk to Karen. Hi. Keep this between us. I'm not giving Anatoly a choice today. He's going outside. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Good. Thank you for understanding. Karen cracked a smile. It looks like Karen will remember that. Now get everyone together for a meeting and let's get him to leave. You call everyone together to discuss the next steps.
Anatoly, you okay, little guy?
Anatoly looks pale, like he's going to pass out. Anatoly, have you made a decision?
Yes. I'll help you all out. I promise. Thank you, Anatoly.
Big tears roll down Gregor's cheeks.
I'll miss you, big guy. I'll miss you, little guy.
Thank you, Anatoly. I know this wasn't easy, but it's for the best.
Karen?
Yes. Gregor looks at you expectantly.
Did you want to say anything to Anatoly?
You say nothing. Goodbye, Anatoly. Goodbye, everyone.
Good luck, little guy.
Anatoly has left the cabin.
See you soon, little guy.
I guess all we can do now is wait. Good night. Karen goes to the bedroom to sleep.
I didn't tell him the truth.
Gregor is getting choked up.
I didn't tell him. Missing him already.
Gregor curls up on the couch for the night, turning his back to you. You shut your eyes, quickly falling asleep. You hear a scraping from the floor. The redhead woman won't let him live, will she? Too ravenous at this point. The more she consumes, the stronger she gets. At what cost? Sometimes staying silent works better. Just walk away and pretend you're innocent later. What a terrible perspective Potato was provided.
The Chompettes never would have listened to this crap. You fall asleep, thinking about what Potato told you. You have a strange dream. It's lying on the table in front of you. You take off the glasses first, partially cracked, and set them down next to the workbench. Working the saw, you wrap the cuts in an old newspaper. Some of it gets soggy immediately, so you begin drying the cuts with a towel before wrapping. Much better. You hear something approaching, so you clench a fist and get ready to strike whatever's coming for you. You wake in a cold sweat. That whispering will never not freak me out. You wake in a completely different place. Did you sleepwalk or you found some meat? Everybody's still asleep. This would be a nice surprise after yesterday's events. You decide you cook breakfast for everyone, cutting each slice fairly thin. You brown each side in the oven. The smell is unique. Karen runs into the kitchen. What is that smell? Give it to me! Now! You don't argue. Karen grabs a cutlet, burning her hands before bringing it to her mouth. Ugh! She hungrily devours it, barely chewing. She grabs another cutlet off the plate and eats it. You thought she was concerned with rationing. Gregor wakes up from the couch and heads into the kitchen. Oh God. Already? Gregor looks conflicted, but he succumbs to the hunger. They always do. Gregor eats his food in a few bites, carefully grabbing a second cutlet. The tears start streaming down his face, but he doesn't make a sound. You join them in the meal, quickly consuming the meat on the table. I can think straight again. We'll be out of here in no time. No need to ration anything now. Karen is sounding more determined than before. I'm going to lie down on the couch. Try to keep this food down. Gregor crawls onto the couch, turning his back to you. And Karen leads in to whisper. I'm glad Mariah and Anatoly are gone. They were stopping us from bonding properly. How did you get so good at it? You tell Karen. After one bite, it just made me feel whole again. Even with the nightmares, it's worth it. It took a few nights, but I fought back. And now it's all I can think about. I read the book on necropsy. The text is ancient, but the diagrams are beautifully drawn. Very descriptive. How many years did it take you to perfect the craft? You tell her. Yeah, right. I used to tell Mariah that you weren't funny, but that's not true. Sorry about that. You've grown on me. Karen pauses, deep in thought. You know Gregor can't swim, right? He'd be the next to leave, but he doesn't stand a chance outside. They always seem to come back, right? In one way or another. Why wait for him to come back? Karen hands you a vial of liquid. I think you know what needs to be done. This is a strong anesthetic. Don't ask me how I found it. I want you to slip this into Gregor's mug tonight. This is for the best. He won't feel any pain until he wakes up. All you have to do is stand back and let me work on him. This request is beyond extreme. Will you do this for me? Yes. I knew you would. Thank you. You nod. She's learning quickly. It looks like Karen will remember that. We're maxed with Karen. Maybe she won't try to kill us in the basement now. Karen hands you a vial of mysterious liquid and you add it to Gregor's mug. Gregor, it's been a while since you've had some water. Come drink with us. Gregor looks frightened. I can't stop thinking about the little guy. I can't even remember what happened before we arrived. It just never ends. I miss Anatoly and Mariah. Let us toast to Anatoly and Mariah. They'll always be inside of us, Gregor. Can't change that now. Gregor begins to weep. You're right. We're having it raw tonight, Gregor. What? Eating raw meat is one of life's great gambles. Get awfully sick or... Gregor slowly puts the meat into his mouth, ignoring the smell. He swallows each bite with a wince on his face. Try not to get sick. I'll never forget the first time I met Anatoly. We were kids. I was chopping firework outside the house. Anatoly brought over a butterfly net filled with them. He introduced himself and asked me if I wanted to hold one of the butterflies. I'd never held one before. He told me to not crush it between my large paws. He did have miniature hands himself, so I get it. And Karen, what did you put in this water? Would you do anything to save your friends, Gregor? Of course. Gregor's eyes start to droop. What the hell was in Karen's liquid? I think it'd be best to have an early bedtime tonight. Let me help you onto the couch, Gregor. Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Gregor passes out cold. Thank you. I'll do the rest. Even if he screams, please ignore Gregor when he wakes up. Okay. You don't want to interrupt Karen with this. You leave her alone, going into the bedroom and crawling into the bed Anatoly slept in. You fall asleep almost instantly. Wake up, sleepyheads. I don't remember her face being like the last thing, but it is, yeah. Scary face! You were having a nightmare. Gregor is waiting for you. You get out of bed and follow Karen to the couch. Gregor. I think he's trying to speak. What is it, Gregor? You tell Karen that Gregor has died. He hasn't spoiled yet. Let me show you the rest of him. Karen shuffles over to the basement door, opening the lock with the knife.
Why wait until she's in the basement? Take back the knife and end her life.
You explain how difficult it is to get blood out of wood.
Your laziness is unbelievable. The minute those 4 entered the cabin, you should have killed all of them. You're getting soft. You nursed a weakened butcher back to health. What if she ends up killing you now? I brought you the key. When she goes downstairs, lock the door behind her with that deadbolt. Then let her rot.
Karen. Potato. Might have made great allies in another life.
You need to stop her before it's too late.
You walk over to the basement door. Where's Karen? When are you fixing this hole? You can feel her breath coming through the crack in the door. You lock the basement door. What the hell are you doing? Goodbye, Karen. She slips into the darkness. You climb on the couch to rest, waiting for the basement noises to become silent. Mariah was correct. It's freezing over here. The frigid air swells visibly in front of you. The basement noises have completely stopped. What do you want to do? Let's eat. You decide to have a quick lunch at the table. She escaped. You wake in a cold sweat. Wake up, sleepyheads. You were having a nightmare. Oh, wow. The sheets are completely soaked. Are you wetting the beds? You feel underneath you. Gross. You must have broke a fever because the sweat is everywhere. Don't worry. We can wash them in the basement. Just unlock the door and we'll make a day of it. You're not that slow with laundry. Come with me. I have something to show you. You cautiously get up, following Karen out of the bedroom. The basement door was already open. I'm hungry. Let's get something from the basement. You feel the cold presence of Karen behind you. Goodbye.
Stop! Grab onto the railing.
You do so, feeling a slight push on your back. You feel the presence leave.
That was a close one. Karen will try everything in her power to kill you. Tread cautiously downstairs.
Why are you helping me, Potato?
Because I pity what you've become.
You work your way down to the bottom of the stairs.
Puff your knees.
Something is approaching.
Can you hear me? I've been down here the entire time. It's so good to see you again. There's plenty of bread down here. Why aren't you saying anything? I'll never forgive you for what you did. You put Anatoly through hell. You desecrated my corpse. You gave them that disgusting hunger. All of that is water under the bridge now. Anatoly's down here. Come have some bread with us.
They always try things like this. Their anger, concentrated near their grave, leads to tricks and traps. You're not falling for this one.
Why aren't you listening to me? There's bread down here. Loaves of it. Fine. I won't stop you from finding the others down here. One piece of advice. Beware of Karen. She is ill beyond repair. Gregor will try to talk you out of reaching the room. Anatoly will try to talk you into leaving the cabin. And Karen will rip the flesh from your bones. We'll talk again.
You feel Mariah leaving the staircase. You go deeper into the abyss. The walls. Down here they're dirt and soot. Something is approaching. I'm glad I found you. The rain outside has stopped. Did you hear that knocking? Another trap. Everyone's upstairs and wants to leave. Mariah was worried sick about you. You tell Gregor about speaking with Mariah. Guess I can't lie to you, huh? You just stood there while Karen took my limbs doing nothing. Are you frightened by her? If you won't come upstairs with me, please turn on the light when you reach the broom. I want to see the look on your face when the light bulb turns on. Can you do that for me? You nod. Thank you. Thanks for letting me lick the bowls clean. That was enough to keep him at bay. We'll meet again soon. Beware, Karen. You feel Gregor leaving the staircase. You descend deeper into the abyss. The air pressure down here feels greater. You're getting closer to Karen with each step. Something is approaching. Oh, thought you'd still be fending off that glutton Gregor right now. You tell Anatoly about meeting with Gregor. Oh, I was going to try and see if you wanted to pick onions with me. You shake your head. Guess there's no fooling you, huh? You survived this long and now you'll need to fend off Karen. Can't tell if I'd rather have you or her sticking around down here. You ask Anatoly where Karen is. Oh? She's just below us, waiting to devour you. Karen's been practicing on her butchering again. Maybe she'll start with your arms. Down here, the Whispers have told me about you. I can't even believe some of the things you've done. Worse than any war crime. So many whispers about those sorts of things. So many whispers down here. It ends at the bottom. Karen might be alive down here, but you won't be. See you again soon. You feel Anatoly leaving the staircase. You grit your teeth and keep going. Your feet finally hit solid ground in the basement. Something doesn't feel right.
Look behind you.
You feel around the wall blindly and locate the light switch.
Found you! Karen's grown stronger than you was late. Consuming her friends has imbued her with rage. She's lost in the abyss, and nothing but death can end this madness. I hope you're prepared for what comes next.
You can feel something creeping up in front of you.
Hello! Hello!
Cabbage, what are you?
Cabbage! It took us forever to move that rubble you put in the mouse holes. Trumpets! Come out! Never fear, Onion is here. Like my cousin Cornbread says, I'll rise to the occasion. Raspberry! Sometimes Mary, raspberry. What lie did you tell one potato? That you would move on. Ha ha ha. Will you let us go?
You shake your head.
Someday, maybe? Chompats? We
Cabbage!
can't allow Karen to take over the cabin.
Bye bye.
She's much worse than you, Stinky. Did you see what she did to Gregor? Unhinged. She's a cut above you right now. You don't need our help with this. Just remember what she's done. Channel that anger. She's just like Potato now, right?
I'm still here, Cabbage.
And as punishment for earlier, we're locking you in the room again, Potato. No child pet trial needed.
You got company down here, Potato.
Oh, what if I should hide the key? That's enough. No need to twist the knife. Good luck. Chompats,
Yes,
let's help out.
The Chompets get in position behind you, ready for what's next. You feel around the wall blindly and locate the light switch. Found you. Let's end this. You let the knife drop to the floor, holding Karen in a loving embrace. All of your pain, sorrow, and regret vanishes into thin air. It was Karen all along. Your soulmate has finally been found. You create a new life together, devouring hundreds of men, women, and children. Laws and governments are powerless to stop your wrath. All that oppose perish. You work together beautifully, making the world a terrible place for future generations. One day, Karen becomes ill. She calls you over to her deathbed between gasps for air. Her eyes are filled with terror, but it lessens when she sees you. Karen tries to say your name, but can't get it out. I love you. You nod, crying softly as she tightly grips your hand in fear. Your tears fall on her dress as the last of Karen's air leaves your lungs. Her hand slowly lets go of yours, dropping to the side. You take the knife and wrap her hands around it, putting it in the middle of her chest. Karen? You were a true cooking companion. I'll tell you a story, but do you promise not to laugh? I almost died when I was 6. It was probably the coldest winter on record. My parents and I were snowed in. At first, they had enough wood, but that ran out. My father, before their wedding day, he chopped down one of the biggest trees in the forest. He spent months whittling it down, cutting the pieces carefully, measuring the armrests so they'd fit perfectly, sanding it down so not even a splinter could come out. He named it Mother's Chair, and every Saturday he washed her feet while she sat in it, whistling a tune his grandmother taught him, looking deep into her eyes as he rubbed her ankles. It took him weeks of working on it in secret. He was hyperventilating while he dismantled it. Each heavy breath was a foggy cloud. His tears were freezing to his cheeks. The fire only lasted 2 days. And later, the frostbite turned his fingertips completely black. He cried almost as hard over his fingers as he did the chair. After a while, when the food was running out, he began to search every inch of our cabin. But he finally found what he was looking for. A little mouse. Holding it wriggling, and his hands must have been painful. Between wincing, he divided it in two. One piece for me, and one for my mother. How's that for a big breakfast? His corpse was the first I ever saw that was frozen solid. Thank you for listening. That's new.
Cabbage! Look, he's trying to speak. Don't be shy.
Cabbage.
Try again. Might take a few more days. Welcome to the Chompets, Turnip. Dumb things on stream. So many dumb things.